This video is brought to you by PrizePicks. One of the big stories in the offseason, and really something that's going to be more important as we get closer and closer to actual football, as conversations like the quarterback competition die down, and we really get to the meat and potatoes of what's going to define this season. One of those conversations, I think, that are pivotal to the Cleveland Browns is Quinshon Judkins' health, right? Left last season with a broken leg. It was a pretty gruesome injury. A lot of people concerned about what kind of form he's going to be in. But luckily for us Browns fans, Quinshon Judkins on his YouTube channel, which let me make sure I get the name of it right so I can send you guys there. It's Quinshon Judkins. He only has 1.4 thousand subscribers right now on YouTube as I'm making this video, but he dropped a documentary episode called The Offseason Episode 1. It popped up on my For You page. So if you guys want to go down there after watching this video and subscribe to his page, maybe even let him know that Quincy sent him. Maybe we can get an interview with Quinshon eventually in the future with that. Maybe that's something we could do. But what I'm going to do is react to his first episode there. But if you want to see more of Quinshon Judkins, please make sure you go and subscribe to his YouTube channel and check him out. Just going to point out too, I'm not directing you there because that was a paid advertisement or anything like that. I just saw it pop up. Think this would be interesting to watch and react to on the channel. But what is a paid advertisement is my sponsor, PrizePicks, which we'll jump to right now. PrizePicks is America's #1 sports app. The app is really easy to use for player picks. Just pick more or less for a few player stats and lock in your lineup. That's it. Rather just pick teams. Well, PrizePicks has that now too. Just pick the winner, spread, or total in any game or fight. PrizePicks is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Plus, you can even follow me on the app at Quinn_C and tell my picks with one click and follow your friends too. Speaking of my picks, here they are. Myles Garrett over 15.75 sacks. 16's been his baseline the last few years. I'd be very surprised if he goes to LA and that number drops, given that he's going to see more passing attempts, given that LA's offense is better than what the Browns have been. Quinshon Judkins, 924 yards. They had two really good picks for Quinshon here, 6 touchdowns or 924 yards. I feel comfortable taking more on both, but 1,000 yards feels like a safer bet for Quinshon. I think he's going to have a big year this year. Carson Schlesinger, 2.25 sacks. I'm saying more. Remember, Mike Rutenberg likes to blitz his linebackers a lot more than the previous defensive coordinator the Cleveland Browns had. Also, Carson Schlesinger is probably going to have to get involved as a sack producer to make up for the hole that they're going to have to make up for Myles Garrett. And then Shedeur Sanders starting more than 7.5 games. I think he'll be the starter, play about 8 games or more this year, but that's my picks for this season. Best of all, play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use the promo code HMA when you sign up. Again, that's your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win when you use the promo code HMA. PrizePicks has switched up their offer. There's no better time to join, lock in, and win that first lineup. All right, Quinshon Judkins back on the return. I'm excited to see what he looks like and kind of get an inside look on what that journey has been for him. So let's go and watch his documentary.
The sensational rookie Quinshon Judkins is down and injured. He looks to be in some kind of pain right there.
When times ain't going good, you gotta keep pushing, even when you don't see the results at the moment. I know the work that I put in, so I'm prepared to just go out there and just put it on the field. We in Dallas training right now. I feel good. Right now it's just cleaning up everything, sharpening my tools, my bag, and getting to where I want to be as far as my goals that I set out at the beginning of the season and when I was done with rehab. So I think that's exactly where I'm at right now. My ankle feel good. It feels strong. I think if anything, it's more so the mental side. Like the brain working with the muscles at the same time.
I wonder where this was filmed. Like, I wonder if this is stuff from the July break or before OTAs, because like there was like that one clip of him in that boot early on, I think like before the draft, but he's been out the boot for a long time. And he's been walking pretty good. I mean, like, he's moving really good. Like, you can see from these clips. I got to cut the audio. Probably got to put something over it. It's a Gunna song, I think, that's on it. But that's gonna get copyright striked if I put that on the finished video. But yeah, no, it's been encouraging. Just the clips I've seen from camp, what I've heard from people down there. It feels like he's recovered pretty completely from this. And it doesn't even seem like he's having that much of a mental kind of struggle to get back to where he was, right? And he talked about that in this video, about that being the most difficult part. It seems like he's doing a good job of finding his way back.
Full quarter. You know who to give it to. Working right now. Hey, looking like a mom.
Hey, no days off, real deal.
I think my biggest goal is when I come back, you just know what type of time I'm on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just making sure my tools sharp. Not even for training camp, but for the year. Because I know what my goal is, I know what the team goal is, I know what my mindset is coming into the season.
Yeah, it seems like he's pretty focused on the upcoming year. Look, I'm glad he's working out hard and he's getting all the workouts he can because he's gonna get the ball a lot. Like, we can argue about the quarterback competition all we want, right? Who's gonna win? Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and people can get wrapped up into that one way or the other. But understand, they're winning. The quarterback who wins this quarterback competition is earning the privilege to hand that ball off to Quinshon Judkins, right? Like, that is what the bulk of this offense is going to be built around. Again, Todd Monken, if you look at his resurrection as an offensive mind, right, especially like from Georgia on, it's running the ball a lot, right? Even before they got Derrick Henry, when they got Derrick Henry, he runs the ball a lot. He runs the ball in a lot of different situations, out of a lot of different personnel sets. That's what I think Todd is going to bring year one the most. I don't know how much improvement we're going to see at quarterback, right? Because there's such a mountain to climb there. But what Todd was really brought in, and Travis Schweizer as well, was brought in was to fix what was pretty, in my opinion, stale of a run game last year, right? When it came to like what they would be comfortable running out of, how many times they would run in certain situations. They'd be very predictable. There was a couple of like mic'd up clips I think we saw where like defensive players were like literally telling Quinshon they knew exactly what run play he was going to run, that it was predictable. And like, to Quinshon's credit, there were a couple times where it didn't matter. He just broke a big play out. But yeah, that's kind of, I think, what I'm most excited about to see is Quinshon Judkins' new offensive line, new offensive minds, and what that's going to do to somebody who is already getting through a tough circumstance to have a pretty strong rookie year. What's going to happen with him? And I think people are sleeping on Dylan Sampson, right? Him and Dylan Sampson in year two, if they get better offensive line play, if they get more varied sets to run out of, and they get people to, be able to divvy up that run diet in a more unpredictable way than maybe it was last year, right? That's the best way I can put it. So love to see that he is aware of, what he wants to get done and how this team wants to get that done. And he's going to be a huge part of this, right? The Browns want to win the amount of games they want to win this year. Quinshon's got to be a big part of it. And the thing I like about him from everything I've seen is that he does not shy away from that. He wants that, right? He wants to be a big part of it, which, you talk about hungry dogs. We need that on this team.
This just sound like this one right here. We gotta get the big ones. That's what I'm saying, bro. Beast mode, go beast mode. Yeah, falling on it.
Oh, buy one, get one free. He said buy one, get one.
Oh, Lord. And we out.
Okay, now we go for the city fireworks. I ain't gonna wait nobody popping the fireworks.
This is probably gonna be my favorite one.
Every time I see football players play with fireworks, I think of OCU Manure, right? You guys don't know. I think OCU Manure is the one who lost like fingers messing around with fireworks. I'm surprised that like NFL teams still let like players mess around with stuff like this. Like I think it depends contract to contract. For certain people, people have like no motorcycle clauses if they've gotten into motorcycle accidents in the past. People have, I'm pretty sure OCU Manure had a no fireworks clause. Myles Garrett has a no basketball clause, even though he never got injured. It's one of those things where it's like you gotta let people be people and have fun, and having fireworks usually is pretty safe. But like one dude blowing his fingers off. One championship caliber player doing that, and it changes for everybody. You know what I mean? But that's just what I think of every time I see fireworks. I think of OCU Manure.
Let me catch you here. You can cook food. No, for sure. You do it with the left too. Oh, your blocking play. They come at you. While you trying to block, you got to make that step back to here. As a catch you here, you cook food. No, for sure. You cook food every time. So even when you go to block, it's got to be here. Boom, boom, boom. I got to be ready to brace myself when this nigga get here. So when you ready to brace yourself, you can't brace yourself here for him. It's got to be here. So if I got to take a step back to brace myself, push, push, push.
Y'all see what he's doing, right? He's going, because you might be wondering, right? Why is Quinshon Judkins boxing? Why is he at a boxing gym getting ready before the season? One, I think more athletes, especially like in combat, well, not combat, but in a contact sport like football, where cardio's hard to kind of prepare for when you're not playing football. I think doing something like boxing, where like, I don't know if you guys have ever boxed before, if you're watching this video, but like, go out there and do a little bit of sparring, right? Even if it's like you can get the VR and do the VR sparring, right? That's how I try to spar these days. It's some of the most tiring stuff you could do, get your heart rate going at an incredible rate, and you'd be out there sparring like 3 minutes into a round, and you're like, oh my God, I'm about to die, right? It's one of the most physically exhausting things you could do is boxing and fighting in general. So like, I think it builds up just like your cardio in a way that running on a treadmill can't prepare you for it, because you can normalize running on a treadmill. Boxing really gets that heart rate up like a football game would. That really exasperates the kind of tiredness, so it gets you used to it. But that's not why he's doing it. That's just a part of it. Why he's doing it is he's trying to become a better blocker in the backfield. Again, he's going to be a 3-down back in the NFL. He's already a 3-down back. So learning how to block, learning how to stop and give impact, a lot of that is feet. A lot of that is boxing. A lot of that is similar to fighting, right? You got to throw a punch when you block, right? You can't just throw a weak punch. How many times have we broke down film on this channel and you see an offensive lineman, they give a little weak little arm punch, they get blown by Myles Garrett or Mason Graham or Carson Schlesinger or somebody like that. You got to give a strong punch, and you got to be able to maintain and stay on your base and stay balanced. be able to move and get to spots without losing your balance. And that's kind of what he's being taught here. It's just with boxing gloves on, which I think gives it a more kind of aggressive mentality, which makes it so that you're a little bit more aggressive when you're blocking, which, you know, depending on what offensive line position you play, some guys you do want to play with a little bit more finesse, right? Your left tackles, your right tackles, depending on the system. But, you know, running back, all aggression, right? You just want that running back to be aggressive, get in there, get one bull, right? Deshaun Merriman, Darren Sproles play. Like, that's what everybody look for at the running back.
All right, I can't go here, here, here. If you catch me in the middle of that step, one more.
But again, listen to what he's being taught, right? Keep the feet wide. Don't let your feet close in. When I talk about this with offensive linemen, I talk about this with running backs when they're blocking, right? What's the number one term that coaches usually use? You want to be in a powerful position. You want to be in a position to receive power and take power and give power out, right? And your base is so important to being able to do that. Like, a lot of guys go out there and they just think that they can just curl and get strong biceps and just arm their way to blocking. And maybe at lower levels it's sufficient enough. But in the NFL, you got to be able to engage your base here. You know, we talked about this with Spencer Fano, where I'm like, you watch Spencer Fano, and because he's not the biggest top-heavy guy, whenever he gets caught in a position where he's not powerful with his base, he doesn't look like he has good play strength. But when you watch Spencer Fano and he's engaging that base and he's able to use his lower half almost like a sumo wrestler, most of his, if he's like 320, right? Let's say Spencer Fano's 320, most of that 320 is in his bottom half. So when he's able to engage his base, he's using more of his body weight, and that allows him to look like he has the good play strength, right? And that's what kind of makes the difference for him. So that's something that he's learning now, or at least Quinshon's refining now as a pro player, that I think can make him better. And I like the way that he's going about it, because I think the boxing is a pretty smart and intuitive and interesting way to go about it. Seems like he has good coaches too.
you got eyes on your person you fighting. So, look at it. Don't drop your hands when you're doing it, though. Look at it. Come over here. That's it. 2 of them. 3 of them. That's the difference. If I do that and I miss, versus if I do this and I miss. See what I'm saying? 1, 2 rolls, 2. Jump under there. Wait for it. Wait for the punch. 1, 2 rolls, 2. Feet together. 1, 2 rolls, 2. Boom. Same thing you was just doing on the rope. When you was on that rope, you never did this. You was here the whole time on that rope. It's the exact same thing. Come from up under that bitch, shoot. 1, 2 rolls, 2. Roll. That's better. Keep it up. Keep that right hand up. Shoot everything from your face.
I love cross training, man. I think more people could learn more about their sport, especially at younger ages, when they play other sports. I forget who talks about it. I think it maybe Joe Batonio was one of the guys who talked about it, but it was like an offensive lineman. And he's like, he learned a lot about playing offensive line from playing like soccer one year. You know what I mean? Like, because you just have to learn different skills. And like part of what can make you a better player is just playing other things and learning other skills, just becoming more well-rounded, right? I think, specialization kind of hit really hard the last 10 years, where guys are just learning football and only learning football by doing things that are explicitly related to football. But I think the beauty of athleticism is that it transfers to different sports, and learning how your body's natural abilities, your body's natural talents can transfer to other sports gives you a better IQ of what your body can do and what your body is capable of, and being really in tune with your gifts, versus when you're only just drilling the football stuff, you really only learn how that's useful for football, but you don't end up being very creative. And I think one of the things that Quinshon showed last year when he was the running back for the Browns was his creativity, right? Like Quinshon at Ole Miss was a different running back than Quinshon at Ohio State. And Quinshon in Cleveland is a different running back than he was at Ohio State, right? Like at Ohio State, he was one cut, boom, kind of like Kareem Hunt style, where he was just shot out of cannon, one cut, boom. You know what I mean? In Cleveland, he played more of it was almost like a Le'Veon Bell style, where he was like more patient, waiting for things to open up, then found a gap and then punched the gap there, right? But part of what gives him that versatility is some of the creativity that he has naturally with his athletic ability. And I think the way that he's going about expanding that by incorporating boxing to his heavy football regimen, I think is a smart way to go about things. But there's more to this video if you want to watch. Obviously, I cut some parts out for time. But if you want to go see the whole video, make sure you go subscribe to Quinshon Judkins' YouTube channel. And make sure you guys go check out what else he has to drop. But thought that'd be a fun thing to watch. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you want me to make more videos like this? Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.